This is Dave C., and we are back live from Brownsburg, Indiana. We got more news for you this morning. 2 teenage rape survivors are urging state lawmakers in Michigan to close down a loophole that allows rapists to return to the same school as victims after finishing their sentences. Gianna Duva and Maya Zaplinti, both 14, were raped off school grounds last year by a 16-year-old male student at Brighton High School in Michigan. They were only 13 and 12 at the time of the crimes. The boy pleaded guilty to 6 of more than 30 criminal charges, but was tried as a juvenile and received only a 45-day sentence. Upon his release, the boy was set to return to the very same school Duva and Zaplinti attended due to a gap in state law that prohibits schools to expel a student if the sexual misconduct happened off of school property. The sentence was crushing. It made me feel like it wasn't worth all the pain, Duva said, according to WLNS. But what really crushed me is that he could possibly come back to the same school I go to. After outrage from the parents, however, a court ruled in December that the perpetrator could not return to the school. He is currently under house arrest and undergoing court-mandated psychiatric evaluation. But the 2 girls are now speaking out and demanding a change in the law. Feels like it's become more shameful to be raped than to be a rapist, Duva told members of the State House Law and Justice Committee on Tuesday. The Detroit Free Press reported, "We need to keep these sexual predators out of our schools. I found that sometimes the juvenile criminals have more rights than us survivors," she added. "This needs to be discussed and fixed before any more survivors drop out of school." Republican State Representative Lana Thies is sponsoring a bill that would end the gray area in the law and prevent anyone who is guilty of a form of criminal sexual conduct against another student from coming back to the same school as the victim. The perpetrator would be given an option of either transferring to another school or go to an online school. "The holes in our law are massive," Thies said, according to the Detroit Free Press. "These victims face the real possibility that their assailant would return to the same high school. I can't imagine the pain and fear these victims and their families went through. The possibility of having to share space with the person who assaulted them is unconscionable." Another bill sponsored by State Representative Sylvia Santana, Democrat out of Detroit, would ban the assailants from school grounds. "There are so many holes in the process along the way that we had to bring attention to them," said Ashley Duva, Gianna's mother. She added, "I thought it was every possibility that he could come back at school blew my mind. Something needs to change. Our girls came forward even before #MeToo became a thing. They wanted to put a face to sexual assault. So that isn't inspiring. I don't know what is." The State House is likely to vote on the measure next week. A former sanitation department honcho is pulling in an estimated $285,047 a year pension, more than twice what he was making on the job, according to new released data. And that's just one of dozens of huge pension payouts revealed in records published Tuesday by the Empire Center for Public Policy. Data that laid bare the city's insanely generous pension system, the government watchdog said. "Pensions like these are unheard of in the private sector and deserve the close scrutiny of taxpayers," said Tim Hofer, executive director of the Empire Center. The long list of 6-figure pensioners in New York employees' retirement system just shows how great a burden the city has placed on its finances. Because this 86-year-old Bronx man started working for the department before July 1973, he was enrolled in the city's most lavish pension plan, known as Tier 1, and was able to continue growing his retirement pot through a lengthy career. The world may little note or long remember whether Donald Trump shows up at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, but it's a very big deal in the Beltway media community. This was from Howard Kurtz at Fox News. "It's a bit of an olive branch for the president to be attending this year's Gridiron Dinner, but it takes place outside of public view. There's no cameras, no pictures, and journalists put on skits, take mild jabs rather than hire a professional comedian who is certain to skewer the president. There was plenty of chatter after the Daily Mail reported that Trump will also be attending the annual Washington Hilton Gala put on by the White House Correspondents Association. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders says no decision has been made. He's gotten a bit more used to the barrage of negative coverage he draws as president. Trump was really stunned and angry about it in his first few months, and he did more than just blow off the dinner. By counter-programming, he announced the media in a Pennsylvania speech on the night of the Correspondents' Dinner. He was giving journalists a finger in the eye by preempting their big night. He saw no reason he should hobnob with people who he viewed as hostile and be ridiculed by a comedian. Trump ripped the media as a disgrace and declared, "The Washington media is part of the problem. Their priorities are not my priorities, and they're not your priorities." He also lambasted his least favorite cable channels, telling the crowd CNN and MSNBC were fake news. That's your news and news headlines. Stay with us. We're coming right back with your weather travel update. So stay tuned, and we'll stay tuned for you.